the wind in my servants.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Esports Money, ZSM, Mac10, whatever you want to call me, and today we're going to be going over my guide to jungling Medusa. I'd like to apologize in advance. This guide it's okay. It demonstrates the mechanics correctly and the timings aren't bad, but I do mess up at least one stack. I make probably the worst possible mistake you can make when doing this build. It doesn't get you killed, so I guess it's not the worst mistake, but it's very, very, very annoying and makes you facepalm like hell. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to chop down a bunch of trees, this time not just because I don't like trees, but because we are going to be doing a good bit of cliff jungling. We're also going to start out with an Iron Talon and Split Shot, 1 point in Split Shot. We're going to get a 2nd point in Split Shot at level 3, and then from then we're just going to max our W. If you really, really want to, you can put a 3rd point in your Q, your Split Shot at level 5, but I typically don't because I really want to max that W as quickly as possible, as long as I can attack at least 3 targets. I'm going to get a Mask of Madness before I get anything other than an Iron Talon. And the reason being is because the way that Mask of Madness works is that it decreases the armor of the hero by 5 when the ability is activated. Medusa doesn't care about armor because the amount of mana calculated to... Oh, by the way, this stack that I'm doing here, the very first stack of the hard camp, you need to do this. You need to practice this. You need to make sure you know what you're doing. It's about you want that arrow in the air at approximately 56 seconds if you have a melee creep. If you have a ranged, you want it about 1.5 seconds before that. But anyway, the Mask of Madness reduces the armor of the hero by 5, but Mana Shield for Medusa, which I'm not going to level until I start fighting, Mana Shield takes the amount of mana needed to be used to compensate for damage into account before reduction. So having more armor doesn't make it so you use less mana when you take damage. So Medusa, it doesn't really give a crap about the primary negative that comes from using the Mask of Madness. Another thing to point out is when you use the Mask of Madness, you typically will always want your Split Shot on because it's better to have it on than not if you're not sure if there are going to be multiple opponents or not. And when you only have one target, you want the Q turned off. So as you can see when I'm jungling here, when I get down to a single target, I turn the Q off to get an additional chunk of damage against a single target. But with Mask of Madness, because it silences you, if you use the Mask of Madness when Split Shot is turned off, this is the stack that I missed. If you use the Mask of Madness when Split Shot is turned off, then throughout the entire Mask of Madness duration, you are not Split Shotting, which means you have 20 seconds before you can Mask of Madness Split Shot again, and that will slow down your jungle. That actually happened to me during this guide. That is what I was talking about being the most annoying thing that can possibly happen to you. I practiced this guide. I've spent around 5, maybe 6 hours testing this guide, and the runs that I actually recorded to create, this was probably the 3rd or 4th one that I recorded to actually make a guide out of maybe 10 runs I did across the day. This was one of the worst, but out of the 4 that I recorded, this was the best, so I went with it. I think I was just getting tired, so it started to get progressively worse, but that's beside the point. The point is, following these basic mechanics and not making stupid mistakes, you can absolutely get brown boots, potentially an upgraded pair of boots, Mask of Madness, Iron Talon, and your Dragon Lance by 12 minutes. Really, I'm just trying to get my Mask of Madness by around 6 or 7 minutes, because it accelerates my farm pretty significantly. Again, just don't make the silly mistake that I did in disabling your Split Shot and then using Mask of Madness and then being unable to attack while you're basically buffed up for several seconds. I think it's like you're buffed for like 10 seconds and the cooldown is 20. Another fun thing to do with this hero is to get phase boots after you get Mask of Madness, and then you're basically, I forget the patch, it was back when Sniper was a really, really, really terrible hero. And by terrible, I mean just broken as hell. But back in the day, you could actually, or every hero you could put a Ring of Aquila on, a Mask of Madness, and phase boots, and suddenly they were a flash farmer. But literally every hero in the game could do this. And Medusa is pretty valid still doing that, and she loves stats, so if you want to get a Ring of Aki, then go ahead and do it. The thing is, you farm really, really fast, and we're talking around, like, really, if you have if you get very lucky, and you're also very good, at 11 minutes you could be rocking a pair of Phase Boots, Mask of Madness, Iron Talon, and Dragonlance. And if you're rocking all of that at 11 minutes, you're going to be farming so fast that you probably don't want a Ring of Ake or Ring of Aquila, because if you do that, then you, this is where I make the big mistake. Yeah, I think I might have screamed out loud when this happened, but yeah. Would have killed the entire camp so quickly. Instead, I end up not stacking the camp and taking a bunch of damage and killing the camp super, super slowly because I'm bad. But don't make that mistake and you'll be totally fine. But anyway, if you have all those items that I was talking about, like if you're farming that fast, and Medusa is such a slot-dependent hero, and is such a stat-dependent hero, that you probably don't really want to get a Ring of Aki. Like, even if you're fighting early on, like, you've got a Mask of Madness. If you learn to use your W correctly to replenish your mana, you'll probably have mana. You might burn through it pretty quickly because you'll probably only have 1, maybe 2 points in shield by the time you're fighting, because it gets, you know, slower and slower to level as it goes on. You'll have a lot of points in your split shot and your W because you like to farm. But the point I'm trying to get at is the hero is very slot dependent. So if you get the Ring of Aquila, you're gonna be getting rid of it at some point. That's 800 gold and an item slot that you're investing in it, when you could be just farming your Scotty. Also, Scotty is not a unique attack modifier now, so the next item that I get after my upgraded boots, Mask of Madness and Dragonlance, is an Eye of Scotty. The Eye of Scotty is so freaking good in this hero. But anyway, that's my guide jungling Medusa, Mask of Madness, farm it up, fight it up. Hope this guide helped you guys out. If you like this video, please subscribe. I will catch you guys next time, and have a wonderful day. Peace.